So I was just sitting here scrolling through Instagram, trying to avoid my actual deadlines when I saw it. Elia Cantu is leaving Days of Our Lives. Yeah, I know. I had to read the post like 3 times to make sure I wasn't hallucinating because honestly, my brain is fried today. But it is true. Elia has officially wrapped up her time playing Detective Jada Hunter. She posted this really beautiful, emotional video of her taking a bow on the soundstage, and her caption was just one word to start with: Godspeed. Just Godspeed. It hit me right in the chest. I mean, 4 years? Has it really been 4 years since she showed up in Salem? Time is completely fake. But yeah, she is done filming. She packed up her dressing room and she is out. And she wrote this whole long message that was just so sweet and so classy. She said she was saying goodbye and she is excited for her next chapter. She called leaving bittersweet, but said she is walking away with gratitude and joy for what is ahead. You know how actors always post these PR-approved statements when they leave a show? This didn't feel like that. This felt real. She talked about how much she loved playing Jada. She called Jada bold and layered, and said she will forever cherish bringing her to life. And honestly, she is right. Jada was bold. Was she always perfectly written? No. Let's be real, sometimes the writers just had her standing in the background holding a file folder while Rafe looked confused. But Elia always brought this grounded, real energy to the role. She made Jada feel like an actual human woman surrounded by absolute lunatics. But here is the absolute craziest part about all of this. Because Days of Our Lives films basically a decade in advance. Okay, it's like 8 to 10 months, but it feels like a decade. We are not going to actually lose Jada on our screens for a very long time. Elia finished filming now, but Jada will be on the show until spring 2027. Spring 2027. That is so far away. I don't even know what I'm having for dinner tonight, and I have to process a soap exit that won't happen for almost a year. It is so weird. We are going to be watching her in all these heavy emotional storylines, knowing that the actress has already moved on and is probably starring in a Netflix movie or something by the time her final scenes air. It makes watching the show feel like we are looking at a ghost. A very pretty, very competent detective ghost. So what is she even doing on screen right now that we have to watch play out over the next year? Let's talk about the current storylines because there is a lot. Right now, Jada is heavily involved in the whole Shawn Brady situation. Shawn is recovering from his leg injury at her place, and they are totally leaving the friend zone. The sparks are flying everywhere. They had that moment in Horton Town Square where they were just smiling and laughing, and it was so cute. But now I'm watching this romance blossom, and I'm just thinking, what is the point? Who actually believes this is going to end well? If Jada is leaving in spring 2027, what happens to Shawn? Do they ride off into the sunset together? Is Brandon Beamer leaving too? Or does Shawn just get his heart broken again? Maybe I'm being too pessimistic. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. It is hard to invest in a couple when you know there is a ticking clock on them. And then there is the absolute nightmare she is dealing with professionally. Jada is the one who has to investigate Stephanie Kyriakis. You guys remember that Stephanie literally woke up groggy and fired a loaded gun at Joy Wesley inside Alex's apartment? A loaded gun. Steve taught her gun safety and she just threw it all out the window because she was having a PTSD moment from the Owen Kent kidnapping. Jada had to show up at the scene and confront her best friend. She had to look Stephanie in the eye and warn her that an arrest is still a very real possibility depending on how the police investigation goes. Can you imagine the stress Jada's under? She is trying to be a good cop, and a good friend, and her friend is out here shooting at baby mamas. Jada must be so exhausted. I know I am exhausted just recapping it. Jada is always the one cleaning up Salem's messes. But wait, there is more. Because Jada is also the one dealing with the Amy, Choi, and Sophia disaster. Jada had to walk into that interrogation room and break Amy's heart. She had to tell Amy that the blood they found near the river might be a match for Sophia. She is the bearer of bad news. Always. Why is Jada the only competent cop in this entire fictional city? Rafe is great and all, but Jada does all the heavy emotional lifting. She deals with the grieving mothers and the crazy legacy kids. She is the one standing there while Amy goes on a relentless crusade to get Holly Jonas charged with manslaughter. And Jada doesn't even know yet that Kristen DiMera is the one who bashed Sophia's head in with a rock. When Jada finds that out, her head is going to explode. And she does all of this while looking flawless. It is just so frustrating that we are losing her. Let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger pattern here. The writers brought Jada in back in 2022 with this deep connection to Marcus Hunter, tying her to Salem's history. But then they kind of meandered with her. She had that messy romance with Eric that ended in a heartbreaking abortion storyline, which Elia acted brilliantly, by the way. Then she had the Rafe romance, which was sweet but kind of fizzled out in terms of screen time. And then her sister Talia showed up and caused a whole bunch of chaos with Chanel. Jada has been through the ringer. She has been a supporting player in so many big stories, but I always felt like she deserved a massive front and center storyline of her own. A real whodunit where she is the lead, and now she is leaving. How are they going to write her off? I am already second-guessing every theory I have. Do they kill her? Oh my god. Please don't kill her. The fans on social media would riot. We are so tired of good characters getting killed off for shock value. What if she just gets a job at the FBI? Shane Donovan could call her up and say, hey, we need a bold layered detective in Washington. That would be nice. A clean exit. But this is Days of Our Lives, so she will probably get kidnapped by Dr. Rolfe and put in a pod next to Abigail. I'm kidding. Mostly. But seriously, what were they thinking letting her go? Was it her choice? Her post makes it sound like she is ready for a new chapter, so I really hope she is leaving on her own terms to do bigger things. She has the talent to go primetime easily. The fans on social media are already crying about it. My timeline is just flooded with pictures of Jada and people thanking Elia for her 4 years. It is amazing how quickly she became a fan favorite. You come into a show with over 60 years of history, and it is hard to make a mark. But she did. She really, really did. She thanked the fans in her post, saying, we are incredibly supportive, caring, and dedicated. And we complain a lot, but we care so much. We get attached to these characters because they are in our living rooms every single weekday. Losing one feels like a friend moving away. So, yeah. We have until spring 2027 to enjoy Detective Jada Hunter. I am going to try to just appreciate the scenes we have left. I want to see her solve this Sophia mystery. I want to see her lock up Kristen DiMera, even though we know that will never stick. I want to see her navigate this messy romance with Shawn and hopefully find some happiness before she exits the canvas. I just want them to give her a good send-off. Is that too much to ask? Probably. But I am keeping my fingers crossed. She deserves a hero's exit. No explosions. No falling off a cliff. Just a solid, respectful goodbye. Anyway, I need to go get more coffee because my brain is just spinning in circles right now. I'll keep you guys updated if we hear anything else about her exit or how it's going to play out on screen over the next 10 months. It is going to be a long goodbye, but at least we get to savor the performances. Let me know what you think in the comments. Are you as devastated as I am? What do you think happens to Shawn? Let's talk about it.